Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something we've all experienced, that moment of total frustration with a chatbot. We're going to break down why so many of them just don't work, and more importantly, how a really smart testing process can make all the difference. You know the feeling, right? You're stuck in this endless loop with a chatbot, and it just keeps saying, "Sorry, I didn't get that." Something that should have taken 30 seconds suddenly becomes this huge headache, and you just feel like you're talking to a brick wall. So, what separates a helpful AI assistant from, well, a digital dead end? It all boils down to one thing: conversation design. As the folks at BotPress say, it's not just about the code behind the scenes, it's about how the conversation itself is built. Okay, let's really get into this problem. See, when a bot is badly designed, it's not just a minor inconvenience. It actually reflects pretty poorly on the brand and leaves users feeling totally ignored and just frustrated. And the fix isn't just about writing better code. It's about taking a much more human approach to building the conversation itself. I mean, think about it. Conversation design is really about teaching computers to communicate like us, so we're not forced to communicate like them. So here's the secret, the really crucial point. These great conversational experiences, they don't just appear out of nowhere, perfectly formed. Nope. They're found through a really tough, disciplined process of testing and tweaking over and over again. Exactly. And as the amazing conversation designer Kathy Pearl points out, it's not just about getting the words right at the very end. The conversation is the structure. It's about designing that entire flow from the absolute get-go. And this journey, it really breaks down into three key parts. First, you test before you even write any code. Then, you test with actual users to get that real-world feedback. And finally, you keep testing and improving even after you've launched. All right, let's dig into that first stage. The whole idea here is to find the big problems on paper, because finding a flaw now, before a single line of code is written, can save you a mountain of headaches later on. Okay. So one of the simplest but most powerful ways to do this is something called a table read. It's basically what it sounds like. Your team gets together, one person plays the bot, another plays the user, and you just act it out. It's amazing how quickly you can hear what sounds totally awkward or robotic, stuff that looked perfectly fine on the page. Now, once you've got a working prototype, you get to the really exciting part, what I like to call the aha moment. This is when you put it in front of real users and see how they actually interact with it. I promise you, this is where the biggest insights come from. And this is the payoff right here. Look at this. Before testing, the bot just says, "What's your address?" Seems simple enough, right? But in reality, users get confused. Do you mean my shipping address? Billing? User testing makes it crystal clear you need to be way more specific, which leads to a much better guided question. This is how you fix those common pain points. User testing teaches you over and over again to break down complex tasks into smaller, bite-sized steps. It shows you why you need to set clear expectations and use little guides like quick replies to help the user along. And maybe the biggest lesson of all? You have to design for how people actually talk, not how you wish they would. But here's the thing, the work is not done at launch, not even close. The final and maybe most crucial stage is to think of your chatbot as a living thing, a product that is constantly evolving. Just like experienced designers will tell you, the real learning, it starts when you begin digging through thousands of real conversations. That's when you can see the patterns. That's when you see exactly where things are going wrong. Honestly, your user transcripts are an absolute goldmine. They show you exactly where people are giving up. What questions does the bot keep messing up? Are people asking about stuff you never even thought of? This is the data that lets you go back and continuously make your bot smarter and more helpful. So that's the whole process. This is how you turn that initial, this bot is so frustrating, into a smooth, seamless, and genuinely helpful journey for the user. It's all about that cycle. Listen, learn, and improve, over and over. Ultimately, this all comes down to one big question for anyone building these tools. A question you really have to ask yourself. Are you just trying to process a transaction, or are you trying to have a true conversation? Because how you answer that, well, that's going to define everything for your user.